Правила я
Glitchless is that
такие не знаю,
essentially
и
regular
вроде
90%
там
uses a glitchless
понимают только
menu gate
корейцы,
that
но
basically
все равно.
skips Act 2 of each world. There's 7 worlds with 2 acts each. So you basically skip half the game, and we as community thought that was a little
О, в
lame.
этом
And
ранее,
so we want
короче,
to play the
сразу чё
whole
говорит,
game.
что
And so
скипается второй
that's what we're going to be
акт в
doing. We're going to
каждом
try the
мире.
whole game.
Всего 7
And
миров
then
по 2 акта,
on
и по
commentary with
сути
me
мы
today, I got my
пропускаем
good buddy
половину
Jax.
игры.
Jax, if you want to introduce
Yeah.
yourself.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Jaxler. I've been running this game pretty much since release. Currently second in any percent thanks to this guy. But also, I also run training as
На
well. I'm
комментаторах
really, really
второе
excited for this.
место в
This game
лидерборде,
rules.
а
It's
ранее в
only, I'll
VR-холде.
mention this as well. Only $5 on Steam. You need to play it, and Nasani will prove to you why.
Yep.
О, тут говорят, что
And
эта
then,
игра всего лишь
real quick before
$5 в
we hop
Steam
in,
стоит, то есть она должна
crowd,
быть
I need
относительно
some help with
дешевой,
you.
маленькой,
Do we do
миленькой игрой.
pink or gold? Can I get a hand for pink? Any hands? What about gold? All right, looks like pink won. All right, we're gonna do pink. And then we're gonna get right in. So timer's going to start when I gain control of my character. So we're gonna go, and we're gonna skip this, and we're gonna 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so the first thing that you're going to see from Nasani right off the bat is something called a spin jump. This is where Nasani inputs a jump and then a spin attack a couple of frames later. Nicely done. That's really, really hard. So
Тут основная механика — это спин-джамп. Мы прыгаем, потом через сразу же секунду делаем атаку, где вот персонаж крутится. Чем-то немножко напоминает Спанч Боба, игру Battle for Bikini Bottom.
So there's another good example of a spin jump right there that's going to take him to that red platform. Normally not possible otherwise without the use of that technique. And Nasani's going to come in here at a 43. That's really good. That level is very, very input dense at the start. And you have to be, we'll mention this later, but you have to be very careful not to rush the inputs or else it'll just not work.
Тут еще игра действительно к инпутам, что лучше в этой игре особо не мешать. То есть надо понимать, что ты нажимаешь. Тут еще спинджампа можно делать 3 прыжка, как бы нам доступно по дефолту 2, но по сути мы можем передвигаться на очень далекие расстояния с помощью всех этих механик.
And then one thing to note as well is that the first like 4 levels are a little chill. It's just mainly just making sure your lines are tight and concise, because essentially at the top level you're not really going to lose that much time in these levels, but if you bleed even like 0.2, 0.3 seconds in each of the levels, and you do that for the first 4 levels, all of a sudden, you know, you've lost a whole second and you're like really far behind. If you're obviously that's only like super top level, but we're going to end that with a 107, which is exactly where we want to be.
That's really good, yeah.
And then we're going to head into World 2. So World 1 is just kind of like this kind of intro thing where
Ну, тут уже прошли первый мир, сейчас будет второй.
Act 2, we have a scene change.
Да, вот это такой пляжик.
So the beach and each world in general introduces new like mechanics of the game, and obviously new art and new music. So as you can tell,
Каждый мир он дает новые механики, а также это другая музыка, другой сеттинг, другая атмосфера. Вот мы превращаемся в такой пузырик, это вот механика этого мира.
But again, with these blue bubbles, essentially what we do with them is that we want to travel along the whole track with them, because traveling along the whole track with them, essentially, they move us faster, excuse me, they move us a bit faster than we normally would.
И они чуть быстрее, чем обычное передвижение, поэтому мы хотим, чтобы эти пузырики прошли до конца своего маршрута.
Use our attack just like that and essentially do a spin jump-esque type thing just off the bouncy balls. And with that, we're going to reach the end of 2-1, and then we're going to go into...
Тут весьма хитро, что тут используют пальмочки, но не используют шарики.
116, exactly where we want to be.
Yeah, perfect. And so you're going to want to pay attention to the start of this level here, because this is going to be another really good example of just like how much you can break vertical platforming sections with this spin jump.
And so right here, we're again going to attack as soon as we land on here to get the vertical boost, and then we're going to skip some of these, jump at the apex, and then right there on the edge of that umbrella. And then I'm just gonna let this speak for itself. We're gonna do some movement right here.
Вот такой срез маршрута интересный. А тут еще такая механика, что это большая капля, в которой гравитация будет слабее, чем в обычных условиях.
But now for the rest of this level would be a great time for any donations that we have before we get to the
Сейчас будет время донатов.
Absolutely. We just got an $800 donation from Deek64.
Yeah, let's go, DK.
They say, hey everyone, Lunistice developer here. It's always been a small dream of me to go to GDQ as a runner one day. But instead now, Nastani is showing off my little game on the big stage. I think I can live with that.
Yeah.
Best of luck to Nastani on the run, and huge
Я тут немного
shoutouts to everyone in the Lunistice
прослушал.
community.
Прислали 800 или 8000.
And everyone who
Но
helped
в
me
любом
along the way
случае,
to make the game into what it is today. And thanks so much to everyone for just obliterating that incentive. As a little thank you, I
тут
do have
задонатил
a
разработчик
small
этой игры,
bonus announcement.
поблагодарил тех, кто играл в эту игру, спидранеров и комьюнити в целом, что они позволили сделать игру такой, как она есть сейчас.
Yo, that's so sick.
Keep up your great work, chefs. Less than 3. Let's get some hearts in the chat.
Thank you,
Let's
DK.
go, DK. Thank you so much.
Такая прикольная игра, кстати.
3-1, this is where the game really starts picking up into this mid-game gauntlet. So again, new world, new set of challenges. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go.
В каждом мире свои приколюхи, свои сложности.
We're going to go up to this tree just so we can get enough height and horizontal movement to make right to that crystal. And then World 3 introduces us to railing, similarly to like Sonic and other games from that era. So what we do, there's a launcher at the end that normally puts us on a set trajectory.
Вот такие трассы с водой, где еще можем баланс держать. Это вот новая фича этого мира.
That is a very, very tight jump, and then it also introduces us to these hyperspeed platforms. These hyperspeed platforms just make us move a lot faster, but a thing to note is that when we land, we kind of grind completely to a stop. And so at the end of this rail, we're going to again shift our trajectory to basically conserve our momentum over here. A thing to note with that as well is whenever we use our attack after a booster, we do conserve some of the momentum from the booster, so we move a bit faster for a bit longer. And as I mentioned before, we grind to a halt once we touch the ground here, but if we jump immediately, we get to conserve some more of that momentum from the hyperspeed platform before we slow down back to our normal speed. And then as we approach the end of 3-1 here, we're going to approach these
Сейчас будет конец этого уровня.
hands-off kind of cutscene thing, but if we do this properly, we'll be able to cut it just like that, and that saves around 2
Ну тут сделали такой скипос весьма опасный на тоненького. И если мы ее провалили, была бы катсцена, либо начали бы все заново.
Fun fact, Crystal Jump was actually put in by the developer himself, DK, and I'll let Jax take over.
Yeah, so this trick is brutal. What Nasani's going to be doing here is using the shadows that are cast onto the water rail to do a very specific spin jump while holding backwards. This is going to get him up and onto the crystal, and that's really, really hard. That saves about 40 seconds off of the track, but we're not even done yet. We're going to go onto this hyperspeed platform, and then as soon as we get the speed boost, jump around the side of it, and this lets us
Ну вот это хитро вообще. Тут идем в тоннельчик такой, который нас ускоряет на очень большую скорость. И мы лавируем с тоннеля за его пределами, чтобы прыгнуть на соседнюю платформу. Это очень сильно сейвит.
Yeah, we're at the end of the level. Under a minute. This is the fastest level in any percent. So, really, really cool stuff.
Yeah. like a top level runner can get like a high 56. That was a 57 mid, which is really
Да,
really
это
good.
еще категория Glitchless, значит,
And if it
она
didn't get
без
ridiculous there, we're
каких-то
going
багов.
into the hardest world, which is World 4. This is where we
О,
get
сейчас будет самый сложный миг, в
rhythm
ранее это
platforming. So you're
4-й.
going to see 4 music notes on the bottom of the
Такой
screen.
вот
And
прянично-ванильный мир.
Every 2 beats, it'll swap colors between red and blue, and depending on what color is active, will determine what platforms are in phase or out of phase.
Тут, короче, меняются платформы цветами. Ну, то есть есть красная платформа и синяя. Когда, допустим, активно красный исчезает синий и vice versa. И причем будут красные или синие платформы, зависит от ритма, который вот видите на нижней части экрана. Это чем-то вот некроденсера напоминает. Или, как я его люблю называть, некрофлексера.
Especially because we really don't grab checkpoints in this run unless we're using them for shenanigans. And so right here, Nastani's going to avoid all the obstacles by going on the side railing, which isn't normally intended.
Тут еще все препятствия мы пропускаем, ходя по краям платформ. Даже пропуская чекпоинты. Да и вообще обычно в ране они пропускаются, кроме каких-нибудь веселых штук. Следующий будет еще тяжелее.
Oh, okay. I got you baited.
But that is perfect.
That is basically perfect. All right, so we're going to need quiet from the crowd here because this entire level is ridiculous. Castania's going to start with a spin jump to land on top of a piece of the decoration in the background that moves with the beat of the song. And then he does a very specific setup where he's mid-air over that red platform and then starts moving so that he's at full speed as the platform appears. He's trying to make a very tight cycle called 4-2 red cycle. And similar to the previous strat, if he makes this, he'll be able to catch a red platform right as it's about to disappear. Let's see if he gets it.
Сейчас ранее попытается смог войти в цикл, чтобы попасть на эту платформу в тот момент, когда такт будет красным, красной нотой.
As well as the spikes all cycle in and out depending on the beat of the music. So we got like a double time section here. All of these spikes are just an absolute nightmare to deal with. But now that Nastani's on this,
тут еще есть секции с двойным ускорением, и они, эти платформы меняются друг с другом с двойной скоростью.
But this is a good time to mention that we are playing on the current patch of the game, and this is one of the most important reasons.
А это еще игра ранится на current патче, то есть на последнем патче из доступных. Но current патч, он еще, кстати, не вышел. Там ранее упоминал в интервью, что вот эта версия, на которой он сейчас играет, это еще не релизнутый билд. Не релизнутый патч.
So we got one more strat coming towards the end of 4-2 here. Nastani's still going damageless here. We're going to do a really tricky looking, more difficult than it looks jump where he takes the green crystal and kind of has to do a quasi-blind spin jump. You can't know where you're going to land until you land it, so you just have to believe in yourself. And Nastani just had a perfect World 4. That is unbelievable. Let's go, dude.
Очень хороший четвертый бег.
This run has been so good so far. And it's about to get better because we're going into my favorite, I think both of our favorite worlds, which is World 5.
World 5.
О, пятый уровень, самый любимый среди вот этих раннеров.
Only because of the music and also just the art style is just beautiful. And also,
как бы такой очень красивый осенний лес в азиатском стиле, и там еще и музычка хорошая.
Now these railings are similarly to World 3, just reskinned as tree branches, and then the boosters in World 3 are reskinned as these.
Это такая же механика, как и в третьем мире, только небольшой рискин.
We can land that jump, and then also we can enter them from anywhere, so up, down, left, right, and then the beach balls from World 2 are back, reskinned as a pink mushroom. And then an extra property of these railings that we have to activate them, and essentially it sends this tree branch to grow after we hit the golden little, what do you call it? The golden mushrooms. There we go. And then we're going to do a little shortcut there. Again, keeping all momentum after the hyperspeed platform, using a spin attack in order to get some extra height off that pink mushroom, and then cutting back and then getting on the tree branch that's growing. And if you notice, we're running on air there.
Yep.
That is because once you hit the tree branch, it's fully grown out already. So if you beat it, you just get to grind on air for a bit, which is really, really cool. And so as we go here, we're going to make sure our lines are pretty tight, and then we're going to do a relatively new trick added to the run very recently, found by
О, тут еще будет новый
I believe his
скип,
name is Gavin,
который недавно
in
нашли.
Discord. Shout out to Gavin.
Shouts, Gavin.
We're going to see if I can do him proud here. It's a little tight, and so what we're going to do...
Just jump, wait for it.
Oh! That's not what I
We saved it, okay.
Okay, oh my
First try,
goodness.
офигеть.
That's still faster.
Весьма
No, it's still
жесткий
fast.
скип.
But it's not what we wanted. So
Yeah.
what happened there is that if I don't reset to neutral properly, sometimes I can just get thrown off of the railing, and it was kind of a miracle that it saved me there. Normally what happens there is you just fall off and die. So it's fine. We still
Тут вот
got a
ранее
roughly
споткнулся на
around
грибочке,
the
обычно
OG
это
time.
приводит к тому, что
Yeah, that's still
ты
really,
сваливаешься
really
с платформы и умираешь, но тут раннеру очень
Normally that
повезло.
jump is like even bigger though. Like normally you go all the way to the back platform, but unfortunately I just very barely misinputted it just a little bit. But no worries. But now we're going to get into 5-2, which is arguably the most interesting level in any percent. This is because there are 3 branching paths, and there's essentially a part 1 and a part 2 of the level. So this first part of the level is the beginning, and basically
5-2
the top
одна из
right-hand
самых
corner of the
интересных
screen, you can
уровней.
see 3 teardrops. We need to activate all 3 in order to get to the second half of the level, which is above
Вот
us.
нужно 3 капельки активировать, прежде чем пройти. Вот сейчас раннерок первому.
And so this is the only level that is non-linear at any percent. And what that means is that we can choose either of these 3 paths to go down. So we're going down this one first, because essentially what we're going to do is that we're going to activate 2 of these in one go. And so what we're going to do here is that we're going to take a little shortcut here, because these pink mushrooms carry our hyperspeed. So we still have our hyperspeed, and then we're going to land right on this platform, and then we're going to jump all the way down here, and then make our way over here. And then this is the first instance where, well, I guess first and only instance where we're going to use checkpoints. And so I'm actually going to hit this checkpoint and then turn immediately around, do another spin jump, and then I'm going to jump over here. Normally you're not supposed to be
Тут
allowed to
мы
go over
захватываем
here,
чекпоинт, видимо, для десволков, что мы достанем первую каплю и сразу же перейдем к чекпоинту, который телепортирует ко второй. Ну, ближе ко второй капле.
And then what we're going to do here is that we're going to hit this guy, and then we're going to reset to checkpoint. And this will take us back to the checkpoint that we activated earlier. We're going to jump back on this hyperspeed platform.
Вот как раз возвращается.
And then all of a sudden, we have 2
Через
crystals
менюшку
back to
вернуться
back.
к последнему
And
чекпоинту.
then also what you're going to notice is that there was no music for a while. That is by
Да,
10,
игра очень
and now
дешевая.
there is music again. But what you're going to notice is that it's
Я думаю, она достойна вашего внимания.
and that's because whenever you activate a crystal and then you pause and reset the checkpoint, it just kind of breaks the music. So everything's just a little bit at a time as we make our way to the last one.
I feel a little bit bad for DK because I know he's been trying to fix that for like
Yeah.
3 patches.
It's been forever. I don't know why the music's still broken. It's kind of just a little. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Ой,
That is that. And so we're just going to try that again.
Ты
Luckily, we
немного
just got a
отвлекся
checkpoint, so
и
we're just gonna
перелетел
just
через
go back and
платформу.
do the same movement
Yeah, you get to see this really cool spin cancel off of the purple right here into the spin bounce off of the mushroom right there. And he actually holds neutral there as well, because if you hold too far forward, it actually kind of does some like weird stuff with your speed, as well as you kind of like hit the wall in a weird way, and you usually don't quite get over properly. So you hold neutral there for just a second in order to make sure your angles are all properly set up.
Yeah. And then as we make here, we're going to just cut to the right here, and then we're going to make our way and go to the final little thing, again, using our spin attack to keep some more momentum, activate the last teardrop, and then if we do this correctly, we can make it here in time to enter this as soon as it appears. Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So
Вот,
unfortunate.
если делать все правильно, то к этой капле придет как раз во время того, как они ранее пойдут внутрь этой луковицы.
Essentially what happens there is that if you enter the blue bubble, in the first couple frames that it activates, the bubble's actually growing. And so you'll also grow, and then you'll just get huge Hannah. Unfortunately, I was just a bit off on that, but it's all right, because we're just regular size Hannah. It's just a little funny. It doesn't really offer any speed things or anything of that nature. It's just funny to see big Hannah. But
Yeah, and the music desync is also, as you probably noticed, getting way worse because we've gotten that third music track in and did another reset the checkpoint. And then we're going to be coming into the end
Тут
here,
еще
so-
может пойти такой прикол,
How's it
что
up?
Now
музыка
we're gonna head
может
into,
десинхронизироваться,
World 6, which is, the start of the
если
last
заиграться
two
там с
levels,
чекпоинтами, секциями и
So,
так далее.
what we're gonna do
Сейчас будет
here,
6-й мир.
we're gonna go into 6-1, which, if you've been noticing, we started on the beach, and then we went to the amusement park, and then we went to a food area. Just ignore that one. But then we went to the high up in the treetops, and now we're on the mountain peaks. And so, if you've noticed, we're kind
Вот
of
такие
ascending. So, kind of like the lore of
горы.
this game is that you are
Размере
ascending
такие
upwards,
горы.
throughout the game as you make your way through. And if you and then the mechanic that World 6 introduces are these little geysers. They can shoot you up. They can also shoot you horizontally, which you're about to see here. And we're going to do again another cancel here, where we're going to make our way over here.
Nice. That's really dangerous because the enemy right there, like, it's very easy to hit them when you're trying. Because
Yeah.
you want to, like, get the most speed you can, but you're also still trying to land on it and not hit the fellow.
And then here's the last major trick we're going to do in this. Oh, unfortunate. Ideally, you want to land right on the little side of that railing there, but now would be a great time for more donations through the rest of this level and into the next one, I bet.
Sure thing. I've got $100 from Limp007 that says, to see Lunistice run here is so surreal, to be honest. I witnessed the creation of the game from start to finish, and now it is run here. Nistani, good luck to you, and thank you, DK.
Да, кстати, здесь на этом айфоне очень много крутых игр. Я с этим абсолютно согласен.
German Ginger that says, good luck on your run, Nistani. Thank you so much for representing our community and showcasing this amazing game on the GDQ stage. You got this, man. Also, massive shout-outs to a Grumpy Fox for bringing us all together by making this gem of a game. Greetings from Germany, Chef.
Thank you, Chef. You can keep going for probably like 2 more.
Sure, I've got $50 from Frostum that says, sup, Nistani, it's awesome to watch you up on the big GDQ stage. Good luck, you got this.
Thank you, Thomas. That's my boy.
Ну
I've
тут
got
донаты с
$500
поддержкой.
from Qua Noir. It says, did you know Lunistice is donate to a good cause spelled backwards?
I didn't.
I thought it was only $5 on Steam.
All right. And then now it is only $5 on Steam. And now we're going to make our way through 6-2. And before I butt out of the way for pretty much the rest of the run here, we do have a little bet here. So if I hit the next trick that we're going to do, it's the hardest trick in the game, and I'll let Jax describe it. But if I hit this, I'm going to donate $100.
Yeah, and
if I miss it, I'll donate 50. But ideally, we hit it so we get $100 more.
And you yeah.
О, тут сейчас будет сложный самый скип в игре, если он его сделает с первого раза, то он задонатит $100. А если нет, то всего лишь 50. Интересно, попытается ли Раннер сэкономить?
It's by far the hardest trick in any category ever. You have to do a perfectly timed spin jump and a perfectly timed jump after that spin jump. You're doing this off of a platform that is angled at 45 degrees.
Тут очень много перфектных моментов.
The landing platform is a nightmare, and you also need the right amount of coyote time to get this work. So there's a bunch of different things that need to go in your favor to get this right. But if you do hit it, you say 2 seconds. So let's see. Oh, so close. Not super big deal to back up there.
Unfortunate. I really wanted to hit that one.
Yeah, it's really
Не
nice,
получилось.
because that platform is tilted
Но
away from you as well,
зато
so you
Раннер
have to catch
сэкономил
it from the
немножко.
side in order to make it happen.
Вот.
And that's like if you hit that during a run, that's where like the run becomes real, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, and then this jump over here as well, also terrifying, just because like you're just floating over a void without knowing where your drop shadow is until you get there. So really solid 6-2 as well. So now we're going into the final world. We're almost at the end of the run
Ой, сейчас
already.
будет уже финальный мир.
Nice. So 7-1 is one of the sickest levels in this game, just because there's a whole bunch of cool strats and a lot of hyperspeed movement going on. We're gonna see at the start an introduction
Вот в этом мире
to
будет
the
очень
new
много
level mechanic with these purple
передвижений на
platforms
высоких
that
скоростях,
don't,
и
give us
скоростях также
hyperspeed,
будет очень
but
много
don't
скипов.
also cause us to lose hyperspeed. So we're gonna just have hyperspeed going up this ramp here, and he's gonna cut some corners here, and then we're gonna see one of my favorite tricks on the run, where he's gonna do a spin cancel to redirect his momentum off of this launcher, do a really delayed jump here, bunny hop here to conserve momentum, into a spin jump to make the railing and skip a bunch of platforming there. And then right here, he's going to do another spin cancel a little bit late and intentionally take damage, which is going to reset his jump and spin resources, which allow him to skip another section of the level, and then he can do a really precise jump there to skip just... There's a lot of switchbacks at the start of this level, and we just skipped like all of them. And it's really good how quickly he's getting through here too, because it meant that all of those moving lasers were on the perfect cycle, so he didn't have to worry too much about them. We're also getting introduced to these disappearing platforms, which, like the purple ones, conserve your hyperspeed, but, you know, as the name might imply, they disappear, and it's terrifying. So he's going to do a specific setup right here so that he bounces around the tree friends. Those are by far the most terrifying enemies I have ever seen in the video game, because they are out for blood. I'll just put it that way. And he's going to do another spin cancel right here.
Самые стрёмные противники, из тех, которые видел комментатором. Вообще, за все время, что он играл в игры.
And then he's going to be making his way through this checkpoint, probably going to grab it for safety, just because... Nope, all right, you're beast. He's going to go right over it, which is very risky.
Там хотел взять какой-то предмет, там по стратам, но ранее на яйцах решил побежать быстрее.
He has to do some really funky movements on the stick there in order to sort of get around them. And then on top of that, he has to deal with the hyperspeed blocks here. And if you notice, there's that little green aura that emanates from the sides of them. Those are actually physical hitboxes, and they have ended runs of many, many Lunistice runners. So you got to be really careful at what angle you're approaching in.
Вот во время вот этих скоростных моментов появляется зеленая аура, и даже вот зеленый орб. И, короче, смысл в том, что вот эта часть, это является хитбоксом, и, короче, это было причиной, по которой многие раны, они завершались неудачей. Ну и сейчас будет последний уровень.
Sort of a backwards trek of our entire journey up through this point. Each different section of 7-2 is a callback to a previous level and its introduced mechanics. That was a little terrifying. So this part is like the World 7 one. He's going to take intentional damage off of these lasers here because he doesn't want to have to jump over them, and the iframes will carry him through the second set. This is really important because there is a section that calls back to World 4 with the red and blue platforms that phase in and out of existence. And even though you don't see the icons on screen, they are still tied to the beat of the music. So Nastani has to make sure that he gets there at a quick enough time in order to make sure.
Тут специально напариваются на забор, но это делается для того, чтобы были айфреймы, чтобы пропустить второй забор.
Yeah, that was the platform cycle that we wanted. I beefed the back up a little bit because essentially what you want to do there is you want to be a bit closer on that railing when you jump off of it to go to that purple booster. But we're still back on a cycle, just not the proper one. So we're probably in this level with a 221.
Yeah, which is, you know, still really good. And there's still a lot more cool stuff going on in the level anyway. So like right there, really big spin cancel, and he's letting it ride again as much as possible so he can get all of that momentum because your friction is just so dang high in this game. But we're going to see sort of that momentum conservation property of Bubbles here one more time. He's going to get hyperspeed here, do a spin cancel out of this purple booster, and land inside the bubble here. This is actually going to preserve his hyperspeed into each of these
bubbles. Тут вошли в скоростной режим, также воспользовались вот этой фиолетовой платформой, которая нас еще сильнее ускоряет, и мы после этого сразу прыгаем в пузырь. Вот сейчас скоро время будет. О, тут очень хороший прыжок на третью платформу.
And he's going to hit the side of the elevator. This prevents him from getting trapped in the elevator, which would stick him in a 20-second long elevator ride, and he just skipped it
А, это специально было сделано, чтобы сэкономить время на том, чтобы не кататься по платформе, то есть мы задели вот эту платформу, которая двигается. Хоть и мы провалились вниз, но все равно нас перемещает в следующий уровень. Блин, это очень хороший раунд. Очень нравится. И игра практически ничего не стоит. Я думаю, если вас эта игра заинтересовала, то можно ее, в принципе, поддержать разработчика.
That was my goal coming in, is to get a sub 25 IGT.
That's ridiculous considering you died in 5-2.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
And then now we're just going to get ready for the incentive. And then the incentive is to play on a new character at Excel. And I'll let Jax do some describing.
Yeah, so
О, тут был донатный инцентив, который выполнили. Сейчас будет играть за нового персонажа.
Introduce primarily a brand new playable character named Excel. So Excel kind of plays like Hannah with the 2 jumps and the spin, but Excel's spin boosts him forward really fast. So he essentially has like a dash.
Это, в принципе, такой же персонаж, как за которого играли, только вот этот вот крутящийся удар, он происходит быстрее.
And some of the new levels that you're going to be seeing here as well, never before seen, are going to show off some of that movement as well, because it is required. So this is going to be a showcase of Excel gameplay through 4 different stages. We saw one of them already, which was 7-1.
О, тут еще на новых стейджах будет. Тут как раз таки сейчас будет показывать новый контент, который скоро выйдет в этой игре.
Keep going? All right. Yeah, crap. You can't put me on the spot like this, dude.
Keep going, dude.
What am I supposed to say? I described this thing.
Going.
I'll keep going. Yeah, so like Excel mode is
И,
really
кстати, тут донатная борьба в X-менах прям ноздря в ноздрю. Там буквально 0,1% перевес за колосса. Кто будет на втором игроке.
Yeah, I think we're back, so we're good.
All right, we're back. All right, so we're going to go to Excel code. I was just loading up a save. And then the first thing you're going to notice as we get in here is that we're going to see something a little different. There's a hub board. And Excel, as you can see, his dash moves you really, really fast. All right.
Вот во время этого спина персонаж передвигается еще быстрее.
And oh, hey, look at that. Start level chef. I wonder how that got there.
О, тут отсылка к татую. Start level chef. Я смотрю, это прямо очень хорошо зашло.
I should have did that. That's my bad. And so we're just going to take a little restart. So I'm going to try to make a little cycle here with these platforms. Okay.
Мне кажется, что лисичка это прям имба.
As you can see, going up hills, we speed up a little bit. This is a bit jarring after playing Hannah for a bit, so we're just gonna...
Yeah, he's got to warm it. It's like a completely different way of playing the game. And so you're also going to notice right there as well that whenever you spin into a slope like that, it sort of it resets all of your resources, right? And so that allows you to immediately do another jump spin, which every time you do, like, gains you even more and more speed. And so we can do that off of slopes, and you're just going to hear it go like really, really fast in order to build up speed. And it can actually be used for some really cool strats as well.
Вообще этот персонаж дает другой геймплей. Теперь игра будет, с этим персонажем будет играться по-другому. И с ней можно делать по-настоящему сумасшедшие вещи.
Yeah, and it's really, it's.
Oh, we're back here.
Oh, we're way back. We are so back.
Underfortunate, as the kids say, but we're just gonna.
Yeah. Also, I want you all to pay attention to the signs in the background. Some of them say Excel Coda, but there's a couple of funny Easter eggs in there. We'll see if you can catch any of them.
Вот тут еще также пасхалки спрятаны. И вот по возможности ранее попытается их прихватить, скажем так.
That's super crucial for this character because all of his movement is based on that spin. Can you just get this checkpoint?
Yeah.
Thank you. And so we're just gonna be warming up.
Warming up.
Yeah, so we got SGDQ up there on the signs. greetings from Germany on that sign back there, which I find really funny because I believe Deke is actually from Germany. So.
He is, yeah.
Это Guiding for Germany, потому что разработчик из Германии.
And even though you're seeing like a preview of them, you're not seeing all of them because one of the cool things about the new levels, the cool thing about these new Coda levels is that there's actually multiple paths. So obviously, you know, speedrun, we're gonna take the fastest path that we've routed through here. But there's actually like a bunch of like hidden paths and stuff as well.
И в чем еще особенность новых уровней? В том, что у них есть несколько путей прохождения.
Because you are propelled forward regardless of whether or not you're holding the stick if you do a spin jump. So if you want to do a vertically based spin jump and like not move horizontal, you have to hold back on the stick.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was just looking at the signs.
We'll see if we, there's an orb one over there. That's my favorite sign right there, the one that says Cope. That one's been in there since the teaser, which I appreciate.
Ой, немножко не вошел в цикл. Но это рядом с чекпоинтом было, так что ничего страшного.
And also, again, just switching between Hannah and Excel is really hard to do on the fly. But we're out of the first level right there.
All right, there we go. A little rough, but hopefully.
Вот первый уровень уже завершен.
We're good.
All right, and so now we're going to go to 7-1. We have 4 levels to basically show off here. And so,
ну, сейчас будет
7-1,
который из оригинального рана.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is because his dash, again, speeds him up, but when we're going up hills, it really shows off the speed. So hopefully...
И этот уровень прям идеально, чтобы показать нового персонажа.
We just absolutely torch our way up there. And then similar to Hannah, we're going to go up here, but we're going to actually go to the top of that and just...
И этот персонаж перемещается еще быстрее, чем та вот котеечка. Ну вот можно было заметить по вот той трассе, которую она бегала. Ай, чуть-чуть не повезло.
That's why you don't skip the checkpoint.
Normally I hit the checkpoint. Normally you can actually hit the checkpoints from the side, but I guess you
just believed in yourself so hard.
Yeah, I just believed in myself so hard.
I respect the hustle. So you get to see this again, which is really hype because good sounds. Yeah. A little bit of an ASMR thing, I guess. I don't know.
Is it? I mean, maybe. But yeah, and so hopefully I'll hit the checkpoint this time. But as you can see, the big difference between Excel and Hannah is that Excel's not really meant for these stages, so it's really easy to just hit a bunch of enemies.
Well, you're gonna... Okay.
Well, I'm not turning back now.
Well, you had HP that time at the very least.
Yeah, and that's one thing that is to note is that since you're kind of not meant for these levels, you will run into things a whole lot because you're just going way faster than you normally are intended to. All right, now we got a checkpoint. All right, we're good.
Ooh. I thought you were going to overshoot the ramp there.
I did too.
Мне кажется, этот персонаж полностью ломает прям... Если до этого был прям адский мувит, сейчас вообще какая-то читня. Интересно, как будет этот персонаж представлен? Как НГ+, какой-нибудь, или с самого начала можно будет выбрать?
And then the only thing that's a little tragic about Excel is whenever you're going down slopes, you kind of just have to wait until, you know.
So you get back to solid.
You get down to get down before you can attack yet again. But whenever you're going up hills, it feels really good because you're also speeding up when you chain some of these together, which is a big property which we'll see in the last level that I do. And so, just for context, if I did this correctly and didn't beef this entirely, we would have ended this level in under 2 minutes, which if you remember, I did it with Hannah in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So we're like kind of just doing it about 40 seconds faster.
On average.
Этот уровень в ране первым был пройден за 2.35, а здесь с этим персонажем ранее сделал саб 2.
This is Tori stage. So there are 3 playable characters in the base form of this game. There's Tuki, Tori, and Hannah, obviously. And so this is Tori's stage. Tori is a little duck that basically can only jump like 1 time, and then Yeah, and so there's just a lot of bouncy platforms. And this stage is also really cute. I'm a big fan of the color pink, so it's just a very cute
О,
stage to
любимый
play.
цвет
And we're just
лайнера
gonna
розовый.
absolutely obliterate the
Нет, цветовая
this level
палитра
has
здесь
some
очень
of the,
приятная.
like, sickest,
Я
like, Excel
могу с
tech.
этим
There's just a lot of
согласиться.
places where you can throw in those spin jumps. Like you do that one around the corner with like no camera angle. It can also be really tricky to optimize because the hitboxes for the bouncies here are really small. So he's actually gonna walk that one out instead of trying to fit it
We're
down.
gonna say hi to this little guy. Just because he's a
О,
little
тут маленький
guy. Look at his
челикс.
face.
Yeah.
He's very cute.
Look at
Very
this
nice.
dude. Look at this dude.
Ему даже
And
на
then we're gonna
бошку
make our
запрыгнуть
way,
можно.
Thank you for
here.
getting the checkpoint.
Yeah, don't worry. I've got it. We're not accidentally bypassing checkpoints anymore. I've been meaning to hit a couple, but I just literally have been going past them, so that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, here's
But we're gonna
huge
do a
skip.
giant skip. Normally, you are definitely not intended to be able to do this with Tori.
А
but-
тут большой
or not Tori.
скип.
Wait, yeah, Tori.
Yeah, it is Tori.
Yeah, it's Tori. Jesus. I'm just absolutely beefing it. But what we're gonna do here is again.
Nice.
With his spin jump, if you want to go more vertically, you kind of have to like pull back on it. So it's a really weird kind of thing in terms of like comparing him and Hannah, where because he really wants to go forward, and so you kind of have to like pull it back, which is a little interesting. But we're gonna make to the end of the stage on pretty good pace. Should be a sub 150, and I do not have like. You know, I don't know how long it takes to do that with Tori, but probably not this fast.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into the last stage to show off, which
Ну,
is,
сейчас
has
будет
not been
последний
seen
уровень в
anywhere
шоу-кейсе.
at all. And so this is the combination
Да,
of,
кстати, похож на
Peach and
Sonic.
Shrine, the first two levels.
Какой-нибудь
And the
Sonic
music here is
Adventures.
just phenomenal. Really hard skip here, does a spin jump. Nice, he nails it first try. That's actually
О,
ridiculous.
тут был очень сложный скип.
It's worth noting as well that like only really Nastani has had the chance to like work on this and play this. So he's had to find like all of this stuff himself. So I just find it super impressive, just like even with like the limited amount of time you've had to work on this incentive, just like how much cool stuff you've already been able to find with Excel. And it really makes me excited for when the full release comes out.
Oh, all right, so I'm going for a
Да,
specific strat here where if I do
чуть
it
перестарался.
correctly, you'll see. You won't. I'm going to reset this probably a couple of times.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what I
Xbox
hit
game bar. Hit the Xbox button.
Ой-ой,
Okay,
случайно
yeah,
активировал
yeah,
оверлей Xbox.
I must have hit a button. But essentially, if I do this correctly, we can skip this blue bubble
Yeah, let's
just
go.
barely. There we go.
That is so
О,
hard.
Ресетнули, что ли,
And
чтобы
that's
показать
just a
скип
very
вот
good,
среднего
showcase
вот
of
этого
what happens
бабла.
whenever you chain your attacks and you speed up. You actually can't do that if you just plain dash into. If you do one dash into that bubble, you actually can't.
Вообще еще
make
немного
it, so you
Калакс
have to
напоминает
use
вот
the
такими рейсами,
slope
хотя,
in order to get
блин,
up.
где они еще были, это
And then
Sonic.
I'm just using my dash here to just get to these boosters a little faster. And then we're go on this guy, and we're just gonna make our way over here. And I just want to point out that this level is absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
This is going to be a computer melter. Worth noting as well for fans of the PS1 Sega Saturn area that this game defaults to like the really crunchy pixelated like shader aesthetic, and it looks really sick. So I recommend playing on that on your first playthrough. Obviously, we don't like play that, most of us as runners, just for one because of bitrate, but also just because it's a little bit easier to see where we're landing on certain things, especially with a drop shadow indicator. And then we're going to see a really sick moment to conservation right there. Again, it's really annoying to like try to hold back with Excel to like get him to go up things when you're doing spin jumps. So that was really impressive as well. And just
Ну,
look at
тут
this
можно
level, it's just
играть
so
с
gorgeous.
шейдерами
Oh my goodness. Thank you
в
all
стиле
so much
PS1
for
Сатурна,
meeting
но
me
в ране
and
это не
so
делается.
bad. We were stressing about that
Потому что
so
так
much,
удобнее.
especially because, again, shout outs to DK. DK worked so hard to get this into a state for being able to present this at GDQ.
Yeah.
So we just want to give another huge shout out to DK for just making it an awesome game and also just, you know, making us DLC for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, that is one thing that this will be a
Да,
free
вот
update
это
coming to the
вам
game. So if you buy
показывают,
for
это
$5,
шоу-кейс,
you will
вот
get
это
this update
дополнение
whenever it
с
goes
другим
live.
персонажем.
Free DLC for a game that is $5 on Steam.
Это
Come
бесплатное
on.
обновление,
Oh, it comes
бесплатное
on Switch too
дополнение.
as well. For what it's worth.
То есть
We're just
вы
trying to
просто
convert
покупаете
everyone
игру,
to the cult
и
of Lunistice.
новый
Yeah,
контент
after you're done donating
будет
to
прям
GDQ,
доступен.
you gotta buy
After
this
you're
game.
done watching the
Так
marathon,
сказать, из коробки.
come join the Lunistice Discord. Like we said, like Nasani said in the interview, time is about to come up.
And
Time.
There we go.
И бремя.
There we go. All right, a little rough, but we got it.
We're in there underestimate.
We are. All right. So, but yeah, just thank you all so much for watching, and again, just thank you for being able to meet the instead
Да,
of.
free
PK
DLC.
worked really hard on this.
Радость 2023 года.
A solid
DLC
job of showcasing
бесплатно.
this as well. But Jax, you want to do any quick shout-outs before we get going?
Yeah, I want to shout out everybody in the Lunistice Discord, especially everybody in the speedrunning channel. For again, like we mentioned, we are in the official Dev Lunistice Discord. So please come find us and join us. We're a super welcoming and inclusive community. I want to give a big shout out to some of the earlier runners like Tortolino
можете
and White Knights, who are really
вкатиться
pushing the
в
early game
Discord
meta
этой
on
игры.
release. I also want to shout out some of the Hundo crew
Тут
like
обещаю, что
Noxus
прям
and
очень
Becky as
дружелюбная
well, because
комьюнити.
Hundo in this game is nuts. So there's
Really cool.
И игра
And
прикольная, и
then, just
комьюнити
quick shout-outs for me.
дружелюбная.
I
Чего
want to
еще
give a
можно
shout-out to
желать?
two members specifically, Naglfar and Plush. Those are pretty much the IL runners, and all the strats you saw me do with Hannah, I basically just yoinked from them. They were the ones that really pushed the game like really far, and then I